I'm Ashley.
And I'm Amber.
We're identical twin sisters from Southern California. While we may look exactly alike, sometimes we think that's all we have in common.
We invite you to grab a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and hang out with us for a little bit.
This is #Twin Life Podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Twin Life Podcast. This is one of your hosts, Ashley, and then, of course, I have my twin.
Hello.
Hey, twin.
Hello, twin.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
All right.
Well, before we jump into it, I just want to let you guys know that this week we will be doing only an audio version again. We will upload the audio to YouTube, so if you're used to watching it or listening on that platform, you will still be able to, but you just won't get to see us because I don't know, maybe for the rest of the year, we might just say, you know what, we might just do audio because audio is so much easier.
So much easier. I think it's one of the things that people love about doing podcasts is they can do it in their pajamas and not feel like they have to get ready. And as awesome as our videos are and as much fun as it is to get dressed up to do the podcast, it is a lot of extra work to do that. Mm-hmm. So, and as people that aren't out here full face of makeup every single day, there's a difference. Camera ready makeup and everyday walking around life makeup is totally different. So
yeah,
it's been nice to be able to just get up and do the podcast real quick. Like the setup is so much easier and we don't have to worry about lighting and all that stuff. And so, I have my big, beautiful studio light at Gwen's, but it's nice to, when we tried to do it in the hotel, the lighting was really awful. And so when Blake and I finally get kind of settled in completely here, I'll order a nice good ring light, and then maybe we can start doing the videos again. But moving is a lot, and transitioning is a lot, and there's just a lot going on. So
yeah. So honestly, the fact that you guys are getting a podcast, that's something. So, but I am bound and determined to get 52 episodes recorded this year, and we are not giving up in the last 8 weeks of the year. Can you believe there's only 8 more weeks left in freaking 2020? That is crazy.
Honestly, didn't even think. I'm ready. Get out of here, 2020. We're ready for this election to be over. Oh, by the way, guys, if you think I sound strange, it's not because of the audio. It's because my allergies. I'm not used to cold weather, okay? And it is cold and windy here. So my allergies have just been giving me a very difficult time over the last couple days. So I'm going to really try hard not to sniff and all kinds of stuff during the podcast. But
yeah, she's pretty much been living off of Benadryl and
Benadryl, cold medicine, tea.
Vicks tissues.
Oh, Vicks tissues. Man, if you guys are sick ever, get some Vicks aloe tissues. It's just, there's just the small things in life. Okay, so yesterday we went to this apple orchard out here in Indiana, which I'd never been to one, and I just felt so fall. I feel like you haven't experienced fall until you're walking through an apple orchard or picking pumpkins or walking around drinking hot cider and it's cold outside and it's just stuff that we didn't grow up doing because you're not picking pumpkins and apples in California and LA. So even though it would get kind of cold, it's just it
didn't get cold until all that was over.
Yeah, it didn't get cold till the end of October. Yeah, I think we would get it would be cold in the morning and at night, but during the day it wasn't cold. So you didn't really get to experience that full on fall weather. So it's definitely fall as heck here. So it
is not fall
at all there. Ashley was in shorts and a t-shirt yesterday when I FaceTimed her, and I was sitting I have long johns on and slippers, and I bought this big. So since my hair is natural, obviously I can't really wear a beanie. It's not straight at all. So there's no getting a beanie over my hair right now. So I got one of those ear headbands. So I had that on yesterday. I had, Blake got me this really awesome, giant, animal print scarf that completely covers up my whole neck. And it would cover up my mouth too. If I really wanted it to. It's just I was oh my God.
You posted something on your Instagram, right?
Yeah, but I didn't have the scarf on Instagram, but I did have the head thing, the little head.
Maybe we can post. Maybe you can post your fall outing on our Instagram so that people can see it.
Oh yeah, maybe I can put the. I mean, it is on Instagram. It's on it's on our
your
story.
Instagram.
Yeah, but I added it. Oh no, I didn't put it on the Twin Life. Okay, yeah, so I should upload it to the highlights. I'll upload it to the highlights on the Twin Life Instagram. But it is on my personal Instagram. It's added to our highlights. It's like the last 5 or 6 highlights in my family highlights. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah.
Family. So. If you haven't seen that on my Twinly Instagram page, I did add some highlights and kind of sort through all of my stories. So if you guys want to kind of follow the last 3 years, you can follow the last 3 years of Blake and I's life on Instagram, pretty much. So, which is kind of cool. But we did do that, so that was super fun. And this is literally I'm drinking. We actually got one glass cup of apple cider as we were leaving yesterday, and I didn't finish mine. I just put it in the fridge. So I am sipping on some warm apple cider right now and just, trying to keep my head clear.
Yeah. I'm over here trying to help Phoenix to realize that we are not going to the pool even though it's 85 degrees outside because I don't want to because it's the fall. We went to the pool all summer and into part of the spring. So I'm done with the pool. Hot tub, I'm here for, but the hot tubs, of course, aren't open here. But pretty much here, I've just been doing F45 started a challenge this week, so it was the first week of the challenge. I managed to get 8 workouts in. I normally do 6. I added 2. Some people got crazy and did freaking 12 or 10 workouts. Some people did more than me. I had 9 workouts scheduled, but when it came to Friday, it was a movie night at Phoenix's school, which was really fun. You guys can see the highlights on those on my Instagram if you want to. And it's in the I either put it in the Munchkin or the family. I think I put it in the Munchkin ones. But it's a highlight. But we went to see a movie and at his school because technically the church. They've been doing movie nights for the children's ministry, and we got to watch Toy Story 4, which, by the way, is a super, super long movie. It's
long.
2 hours.
It's so good. It's good. It's long for kids.
It was really good, but Phoenix was has seen it a million times. We have it here. We have Disney Plus. He's watched it a million times. So he was just like, Mom, when is the movie over? It's like, buddy, if I remember correctly, there's still a good 30, 45 minutes. I was like, did you want to leave? He was like, no. But he was not having it towards the end. He was falling asleep, and then I had to carry him into the house in his freaking dinosaur costume. And yeah, but it was really sweet. We really liked the movie nights. He wanted as soon as I told him, because I didn't even know if I wanted to go, because I know I wanted to go to my workout, which was at 5, and the movie night started at 6:30. So I was like, I could technically go, but I would go, I'd be sweaty, and I'd have to change into some clothes and just sit sweaty and gross for 2 hours. I was like, I really don't want to do that. So I was just like, you know what? We're just gonna skip the workout. I did my normal workout in the morning on Friday, so I was like, we're just gonna skip the second one, or go to my Saturday one, and I'll just be happy with 8 workouts. And I think 8 workouts is totally fine.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's already a lot. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing, and yeah, maybe add an extra workout here and there. This week, I guess we're supposed to add a cardio workout this week, which is I normally do Wednesdays. So you're supposed to add a double workout on one of the days this week. So I will do that. And yeah, other than that, I'm not trying to be out here doing 12 workouts a week, because I just adding the 2 that I did was already really hard on my body and really tired. I took 2 super long naps this week, not an hour. I would go fall asleep and then wake up 2.5 hours later and be like, oh my God, the whole day is gone. And I was like, no, we're not out here trying to sleep 3 hours in the middle of the day. So anyways, so I want to get into some Bachelor stuff, because for our Did You See, but I know that you wanted to say.
Oh yeah,
I know you wanted to
just rip. We lost I don't know, an iconic actor, Sean Connery. He was so old, but I just really, really appreciated him as an actor, and he was James Bond, he was King Arthur, he was just kind of all these iconic roles, and he passed away.
He had that voice too.
Yeah, he just has the voice that he's just one of those actors that has a voice that you hear it and you know exactly who it is. You know?
Yeah.
So it was pretty sad that he passed away. I think he just passed away because he was old. Like, I don't think anything tragic happened to him, but other than he died. But, you know, it wasn't some accident or anything. And it wasn't coronavirus.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was sad. But then, you know, so rip Sean Connery. Blake was watching, like, some stuff on the news about him because they obviously did some, you know, like, life, you know, highlights and whatnot. So we lost a good one. Sad.
Yeah. No, it's sad.
But anyways, okay, so Bachelor is a hot mess in so many ways. We weren't going to talk about it this much, I feel like, but it's just such a hot mess.
There's so many things. Like, you and I were trying to talk about it. I mean, so this week was full of all types of things. If you like dating reality shows, like freaking Married at First Sight finale this week, which is a whole situation. And then for all practical purposes, the Claire version of The Bachelor finales on Thursday of this week. You know what I'm saying? So like we're gonna have to have two finales. So anyway,
this week is just too much. Like, there's too much going on. We got an election this week. We got the freaking, like, the Claire drama. I just can't. Like, this is too much. I need 2020 to be over. It's too much.
Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about before we talk about Claire is Halloween. So we are recording this on the day after Halloween on Sunday. And I just want to give a big shout out to everybody that chose to celebrate Halloween. I am over here just applauding you because people were trying to get crazy. Like, I had a lot of friends who went to trunk or treats. I had friends who were setting up tables in their yards with like individually wrapped Halloween stuff for the kids to dress up and like walk around. And I just want to say, like, I feel like, you know, the CDC was trying to say we need to cancel Halloween. They came out with this ridiculous set of regulations for Thanksgiving. One of them being you're not allowed to sing, and if you are singing, you need to wear a mask.
Wait,
what kind of like if you're gonna sing for some reason, like say you're gonna do karaoke with your family or whatever on Thanksgiving, you have to wear a mask because you don't want to be, you know, getting your spit, I guess, out on everybody.
It's so stupid. I can't. It's so stupid.
So I just want to give a big shout out to all those people because I'm not a big Halloween person, but I just feel like, you know, for a lot of kids, just the idea of getting to dress up and get candy and go see all of your friends and their costumes and stuff is just so fun for them. And like, I, you know, experienced a little bit of that taking Phoenix to the movie because all of his friends were dressed up in their costumes. And for some of them, that was like one of 2 times that they got to wear their costume. So, you know, yeah, just shout out to all of you guys. Okay, so back to the Bachelorette. Probably the big highlights were the fact that she basically okay, wait, we have to talk about Yusuf because you seem to have different opinions than I did about Yusuf.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so I'm the person that like feels like hard, like, you know, sad for the villain. So like, I'll be watching like Batman, and I'll be like, the Joker's absolutely nuts. I'm like, but I kind of feel sad for him. Like, what a tragic life. Like, he must have, like, that's me. So
I'm kind of that way too.
So I can always like understand someone's point of view. I can empathize with anyone's point of view. So I feel like with Yosef, I didn't disagree with what he was saying because I didn't feel like having the men. I felt like having the men. First of all, she didn't have the men stripped down completely naked, but she basically
chose that on their own.
They could have said no.
But there's a difference. Like, okay, sorry, I'll let you finish and then I'll say.
I felt the same way about the mud wrestling with Demi. I just felt like that was just like too much. I just don't feel like it's necessary to just like over sexualize things for no reason. They could have just played some really aggressive dodgeball, shirtless, and it would have been fine. Like, if she really wanted to add that, like, weird, like, you know, The Bachelor likes to add, like, sexual innuendos into these things. So if they really wanted to do that, they could have just played shirtless dodgeball. Because that's really what the point was she was getting to anyway, which is why she made the other team take off their shirts and the other guys take off their pants. She was trying to even the odds. So then just play shirtless dodgeball and call it a day. It didn't need to get to the point where they're now standing there in like jock straps in the middle. Like, granted, there was nobody else there but the guys and her and like the producers, obviously. But the world, like, you know, saw the situation. So I just felt like, so I understood where he was coming from. I don't agree with the way he approached the situation. I feel like, first of all, it was just not necessary for him to discuss it with her, except for to get some drama.
Stranger.
Yeah, he's basically a stranger coming at this girl. Like, she doesn't know any of them. It's been like 3 days, and he's already just up in arms because he just felt like she was just classless. And, okay, if you feel like she's classless, bye-bye. Like, why do you feel like it's your job to call her out? Like, to me, that made zero sense. Zero.
And I guess I agree with you. I think that the thing with the guys being naked, we talked about this last week in our podcast episode about, like, you know, America being prude as a nation and whatever, you can say what you want to say about it. But I do think there is a level of respect where we have women out here going, women's rights, we don't want to be over sexualized. But at the same time, there's this sense of like, you have to like, you have amnesty. Like, you could advocate for yourself if you're one of the guys that feels uncomfortable. And she says to him, well, that's why you didn't go on this date, because we knew you were going to be uncomfortable. And that's when it took a turn, because she was listening. Like, I honestly kudos to her, because she listened a lot longer than, like, you know, what we were saying, than like a Rachel Lindsay. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rachel Lindsay would have been like, when he said what you said, like, you know, I just feel like, you know,
it was classless.
And I'd been like, oh, great.
That would have been it.
Yeah.
That's like the end of the conversation.
Exactly. And she still continued to listen. And you could see her. The thing that was funny, it was like watching a pot boil, like with the lid on, but you can see through the pot. Like, that's what it was. Like, you could see like the flames in her eyes just like getting bigger and bigger as he was talking. And I was just like, how is she? And she plays the role of the Bachelorette really well. She let him talk. She was respectful. She tried to listen and empathize. She even said, oh my gosh, you know what we need to talk about? She said that she told him that, yeah, you know, I had a really hard, you know, he said he missed his daughter. And she said, well, yeah, my grandmother's dying. So I totally
her mom.
Or her mom, yeah. She goes, my mom is dying. And he goes, well, yeah, but let me finish what I'm saying. Like, that should have been a moment, if anything, for y'all to connect. And he just shut that shit right down. Like, anyways, so he's a jerk. Bottom line, I understand that she, as the Bachelorette, yes. Was it the best thing for the guys to get naked? No. Did they choose to get naked completely? They absolutely did. So
I don't think it was like she.
But even that, he didn't like her speaking up too. That was another thing he kept telling her.
Yeah, he didn't like the fact that I don't understand why he didn't like. Okay, I felt like that moment was awkward, and I think her reaction made it more awkward. Like, she could have just handled it, and I feel like she has a hard time handling her own, and she thinks she's like one of those women that thinks that, you know, like, by standing up and saying that PC, what I need to say, my therapist told me I need to say answer, that's like standing up for yourself, and it really isn't. Like, she just doesn't, I don't think she quite understands what it really truly means in your soul and in your heart to really have confidence in yourself and exude that confidence. She exudes like she's confidence that takes a lot of work for her that someone taught her how to look like you have confidence. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's kind of how it came off, was like, she's really trying. She's like, I thought I would never have to say this to her. Like, did you really need to say the exact same quote that you said to Juan Pablo, that you would never want him to have like, that's not even what you guys are talking about.
It's like, great for TV though. They played that
it made me awkward.
over and over and over.
It was awkward.
It was awkward.
The whole episode was just so much awkwardness. Like, her sitting, what was it she was making out with? No, she was talking to Deanna about how much she loves. Deanna comes there to do like the typical Bachelor check-in and like, who are the guys that you really like, who are you really interested? She literally only talked about one person the whole time, while the guys are sitting there talking about how much they really like her and admire her and think she's a great, strong woman, and they're really excited to get to know her and blah, blah, blah. And like, I feel like she kind of proved Yosef's
point this
argument.
episode.
Yeah, like they set it up where she's like trying to defend what this man said, and then she goes and acts that way for the rest of the episode.
She ignores the guys. She tells the producers to hurry them along so she can be done with the night. I just feel like it's just so, I don't know. There was a lot of things in that episode that were just like, honestly, very frustrating, because I was in the first couple episodes, I was kind of like, oh, I see, like, I was kind of rooting for Dale and Claire to work, sort of, in the first couple episodes. And then this episode, it's like, okay, now I see why it's getting bad. It's because she's literally just like not wanting to do the process anymore. She goes on the date with the awkward guy that grabbed her or whatever, because she like half kissed him, half didn't, or whatever. And that was freaking awkward.
I feel like she's just kind of putting herself. I genuinely thought, what my first thought was when I saw that was, okay, she's not kissing him because she just thought about Dale, and she's been whining about Dale this whole time, so she doesn't want to kiss him. That's what my thought was. And she didn't want to explain. She's obviously not going to tell him, like, that to his face, so I feel like she's kind of made it about something else to, like, hide the fact what her real thoughts and emotions were about it. And if this was any other Bachelor season, I feel like I would have been able to kind of, like, I just feel like it would have been nice to see her explore the relationships with these guys, because there's some really awesome guys in this season.
Yeah, for real.
She's just ignoring, I don't know, wasting their time and ignoring them. And again, she had a lot of time during, like, okay, people are saying that they talked beforehand. So say they did talk beforehand, and she felt this connection with them. She should have just said, like, you know what, I'm not going back to the Bachelorette. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And instead,
because this whole time she's been saying that it's about love, and I'm not going to apologize for love. Well, if it's all about love, then why don't you just skip off into the freaking sunset with Dale?
Right. And let these guys who stopped their whole lives for some more time, had to sit for 2 weeks quarantined, had to do all these freaking COVID tests just to hang out with you, just to meet you and talk to you and spend time with you, and live in this bubble for 2 months just to get to know you, and, like, you don't even have the respect for them. Oh, excuse me. You don't even have the respect for them to give them some time and give them some attention, and show them that, like, you're not a horrible person, you know? I don't know. But I'm looking forward. We did officially find out that Tayshia will be coming to the resort. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Came out of that water in that pool looking like a whole entire snack. Like, just like banging body. She looked beautiful. Like, I was telling Derek this because he was like, so, like, now. I was like, so Tayshia's just gonna get Claire's leftovers. I don't feel like it's Claire's leftovers.
I don't. She didn't date them.
She didn't date them. There's no relationships formed. So it's like, honest, I think this group of guys is just as good for Claire as, if not better, for group of guys for Tayshia, to be honest.
And Tayshia's older now. She's like 28. She's 28 now. She was like, so she's not quite 30, but she's still 28. 28? Yeah. Something like that. So she's on the older side of her 20s. So she's not Hannah, where she's 23 years old. She's on the older side. She's had some experience in The Bachelor.
And Paradise.
And she's not crazy. Like, she held herself, she carried her own on Colton season. She carried her own on Bachelor in Paradise. Didn't work out with her and, what's his name, the surfer guy. I forgot they were together. Yeah.
Such a weird couple, but she actually liked him.
I think they just didn't work out because their lives are on separate sides of the country. I really think that's the reason they didn't work out. But I'm excited for her because this is
Bob, what's his name?
John. He used to say his whole name all the time.
Yeah, whatever his name.
John Paul. John Paul?
No, I don't think that's right.
I think it was John Paul.
I'm sure someone listening knows what his name was.
Yeah, if you guys know, leave it in the comments since we can't remember right now. We could Google it if we really cared that much. But regardless, Tayshia will be on The Bachelorette. after next week, apparently. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just looking forward to seeing how it kind of all unfolds. Because again, like, this is not a good look for Claire. Like, people already didn't want her to be the Bachelorette. The whole claim to fame of like being the oldest and more mature. Now everybody's going to be like, well, we proved, like, all those 20-something-year-olds that were on the show that people were talking crap about their age. Now they're going to be like, so, like, it would be like if Rachel Lindsay went on there as the first Black Bachelorette and acted an absolute fool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you'd be like,
yeah.
maybe this is, maybe there's some truth to what we, even though there's not, but like that's where the mindset goes. So obviously everybody in their 30s isn't, but people have this mindset that if you're 35 years old and you're single as like, a tree standing in the desert, then maybe
she's not 35. She's
some
38.
more therapy. Okay, you need some more therapy.
Derek was like,
because
babe, he was like,
struggling.
He was trying to say it in a nice way, and now that you've said it, like, I sort of feel where he's coming from, but like, he was like, he's like, how old is she? He's like 38. She's like, she's never been married ever. No, she hasn't found anyone yet, and she's been the Bachelorette. She's been dating in real life. She's been
Bachelor
on
Paradise,
now Bachelor Paradise. Like he's like, she might be like, maybe she's just like crazy. Like, I think something's wrong with her. Like, he was like, and I was like, babe, you can't. I was like, she's not too old to find someone to love. Yeah, he's like, you can't. He's like, I was like, she's not too old to find somebody to love. He's like, I'm not saying she's old. I'm just saying that people that make it to 38 and don't find anybody, it's probably because something's wrong with that. And I'm like, he's like, something's probably wrong with her. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, he's like, it's not that it's not that I think she's old. It's just that 38 is a long time to go without finding anybody. Like,
not being in any kind of committed relationship at all. Because it doesn't seem like she's dating. She definitely, and nobody in the Bachelor world has dated her, tried to date her. Nobody. Yeah. Like, that's a red flag right there, I feel like.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get to our topic, because there's a few things I want to dive into on this, and so we don't run out of time, I guess. But basically, in the spirit of my like journey to like lose weight and have like live like a healthier sort of lifestyle, I started thinking about the difference between motivation and discipline. And I've heard a few fitness people talk about the difference between motivation and discipline is that motivation is fleeting, and discipline has to grow. So I would think of it as motivation is what gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. So basically, like, you can be you start off day one super motivated, and then, or the night before, like, I'm gonna start, tomorrow I'm gonna start eating right and doing this and doing that, and then the next morning you wake up at 6 a.m. to go to the gym and you're like, I think I'm gonna go back to sleep. That's like how fleeting motivation is. Discipline is like, no, you're gonna get up regardless, even if you're tired, snow, rain, sleet, hail, whatever it is. Like, you're gonna be going and you're gonna get it done, and regardless of whatever like temptations or whatever are around you when it comes to like you're eating well or whatever it is that you're trying to, whatever thing it is you're trying to develop discipline in that area, you kind of go forward regardless. So I just wanted to kind of like dive into like what you can do to like find like what you can do to like get from the motivation to the discipline part, and what you do when you lack motivation. And like the first thing is just to do it anyway. I think that sounds like really simple, but just
it's really
simply
not, it's really not simple.
Is that not simple? I mean, to me it sounds simple, but I guess when in the moment it's probably not.
I think because you can find an excuse. I know for myself, like, I can probably find an excuse to not like not do something, like, no matter what it is. You know what I mean? It's a lot harder to, especially when it's something that you know is going to make you feel uncomfortable in the moment. Like, when you go to the gym, it's uncomfortable to be when you're working out. Like, your body is uncomfortable. But when you're done at the gym, you feel great. And so once you're done at the gym is when, like, the motivation comes to, like, okay, yeah, I killed it. Like, I feel great. But then the next morning when you wake up and you're sore or you're tired or it's like it's cold outside or like, you know what I mean? You didn't wake up in time to make your shake or you didn't, you know what I mean? Like you, whatever reason. Then you can go, okay, well, it's fine. I'll just skip it today and I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow turns into like 3 weeks from now, a month from now, a year from now, you know?
Yeah. So I think the next thing is when you're at that place to remember to remind yourself of whatever the why is. So whenever you start a new thing, and you have to, if you don't have a reason why you're doing it, then you're not going to stick to it. And for me, I think that I think relationships are kind of one of this thing. Like when you start off in a relationship and you're in your honeymoon phase, like that's very much like the motivation type of thing. Like you're very excited to see the person and like you're motivated to go see them and spend time with them and hang out with them and all of this stuff because it's so new and exciting. But the discipline part comes when, everyday life happens and like it's not as easy to spend time with them or you have kids or whatever. And like that's when you have to really like dig deep and be like, okay, why am I doing this? Oh, because I love this person and I love being in this relationship and I love what we built together and I love our family or whatever it is. Like whatever your why is, that's the thing that like really helps. And like I try to put my why in front of me. I have sticky notes in my bathroom on my mirror. Specifically not for my relationship, specifically for my fitness goals, is like, why am I doing this? And then that just helps me to like keep going. And I think like when you have a solid why, then that helps. And also like as I've done this, like my why has changed. Like it's not always been the same. Like, okay, my why is I want to lose weight, but once I lose weight, what's going to be my why when I get to that point? Is it going to be to build muscle? Is it just going to be to maintain like a healthy lifestyle so I can now eat whatever I want? Like what is it going to be?
Yeah, I feel like in yoga, they say like at the beginning of a yoga class to set your intention. And that's the same mindset of like every time you like come to your mat, you set your intention for, what brought you to this mat, what you're wanting to gain from your practice, what you're wanting to get out of it. And I feel like it's the same really with anything you do. It's like, set an intention on what you want to get out of this. Why is this going to benefit you? Or what energy are you trying to, focus, what are you trying to put your energy towards? What are you focusing on? What is your, what are you seeing in your mind that you want to see a result from your practice or from your workout or from, whatever, if you're from going to school or like, cause it can be like that. So Blake and I have really been like discussing me going back to school and like how we can make that happen. And, I remember when I went to college like a decade ago that it was always this kind of anxiety before the school year started. And then when the school year ended and I was getting A's, or I'd get my papers back from my sociology class and I was getting A's on my papers, and I was just like, the whole time I'm writing my paper, I'm thinking like, this is not great. Like, I'm gonna be lucky if I get like a C on this. Like, I don't think I'm that great of a writer. And then when you get acknowledgement back from your sociology professor and they're telling you that you're actually very good at what you do, then you're like, okay, well, wow, I actually am good. And it just like kind of continues to motivate you. But what stopped me from going to school was like not being able to get my classes, feeling like I had to take a bunch of crappy classes that I didn't need and wasting time. And, instead, like I should have just taken the class I could take or just, you know what I mean? And then I ended up stopping and like work got in the way and then life got in the way. And so I feel like now in my 30s, I can't believe I can actually say I'm in my 30s now. 31. Wow. Weird. Still weird. I think I still tell people I'm 30 even though I'm 31 now. In my 30s, I feel like there's different anxieties about going back to school. One being 31 and going back to school. Granted, even when I go to work, people have no idea how old I am, so it's not like I'm going to be going around looking like I'm the grandma in college, but that's something that's an anxiety for me. But I don't want to let that get in my way of doing it because I have a goal that I want to get to. I have like a vision of what I want to gain from going back to school. So
yeah, and you'll now have the discipline that you didn't have then.
Exactly.
When you go back now. Yeah. Because, and also we're talking about before, your why is going to be different than it was back then. So I think it's just like, I think, like that's kind of a good point. And that's a lot, why a lot of people, like, it's not weird. Like, people going back to college is not weird. People go back to college to get their second degree, or they decide to get their master's in their 30s and 40s, or they decide to completely change their degree or whatever it is. Like, it's not that weird. And I think it's less weird now because people understand that, but like, that's why you have less teenagers going straight to college now. They go to vocational school, or they go to school online, or they take a gap year, or whatever it is. Like, there's so many different options now for that. So I think it's really good that you're going to go back to school and study.
We're definitely talking about that. Like, I don't remember all the credits that I have, and I don't know all the credits that I need, but I know I have some credits. I just have to figure out how they carry over and what that means, like what I have to take now. But I think I'll probably end up just doing community college first, just because it's just less expensive instead of just going directly into a 4-year college. Like, knock out. And Blake was even saying, he's like, you can actually take your basics in community college and then still take your major classes. So at the same time, which I never thought about.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, okay.
So the next thing is, as far as like what to do when you're lacking motivation, is to two things. Reward yourself, like have a reward at the end. Well, there's actually more than two, but reward yourself at the end is a big one. Just like making sure that, like, something that you're going to do when it's all done, and also making it. And then there's also another part of this where it's like thinking in the short term helps. So like, my goal was to lose 30 pounds. If I think about losing 30 pounds, that's like, and I think about it in the macro sense, that's potentially 5-6 months of my life, which is half a year. That's a lot. Seems like a lot of time when you think about it that way. So that would be me committing for 6 months to eating a very well-balanced diet, working out consistently, doing all these things. And so when you think about it that way, it seems very, very, very overwhelming. So my thought process is short-term goals. I don't remember who I was listening to, but they were talking about this idea of stacking your habits. So basically, I started off by saying I've multiple times woken up gone to sleep on a Sunday and been like, tomorrow is the day that I start eating better. No. This time I said, I'm going to start drinking water. That was the very first thing. Derek bought me the special water bottle that I've been seeking out on Amazon. He bought it for me for Mother's Day. I made a point of drinking a few of those a day, and that's what I did. And then I got to the point where that was now a habit, and I didn't have to think about doing it. So then I added exercise. Then I started working out. I found somewhere that I like to go. I built a habit around exercise. That took me about a month, where I built the habit and the routine of going every day consistently and deciding what classes I was going to go to and what times I was going to go, and working the schedule around Derek and all of that stuff. Then I added food to that equation. And that was the, that's been the process that I've been doing so far, is adding the food. So instead of just waking up and saying, I'm going to buy all the things today and we're going to eat right, this is how we're going to do it. It's a lot easier when you break it up into small steps, and then also making short-term goals. Like, when I've lost 15 pounds, we're going to do this. When I've lost 10 pounds, I'm going to do this. When I get to my 30-pound goal, I'm going to do this, and this, or whatever it is. And so that you have like things to look forward to, so it doesn't get just monotonous. The last two things are, tricking your mind. So, which is like, seems dumb, but like, when I was first doing this, I had the AC set to turn off at 5. So it would get hot in here around 6 o'clock. So you don't want to lay in the bed when it's hot, because it's hot. So you're inevitably going to get up. Drink a big cup of water before you go to bed. It's going to make you want to get up and go to the bathroom. If you drink coffee, set the coffee maker so you wake up to the smell. Get your clothes out the morning before, so you're not like trudging around trying to find your clothes in the morning, or whatever it may be, getting frustrated. Just like little things like that to like kind of help you like make the process in the morning a little bit less like, kind of like you're dragging your feet. And the very last thing, which I think is a big one that not everybody does, is take a break. Like sometimes when you're doing something for, and this is if you're the person that's been doing something for a long time and you find yourself like, I've been doing this for 5 months or 8 months or whatever. And now I'm just like really losing that motivation to work out or losing that motivation to eat right. Maybe just taking like a break, like 2 or 3 days where it's just like, I'm not going to work out and I'm not going to be meticulously tracking every single thing that I eat. And then maybe after those 3 days, as long as you go back, which is important, go back to it. Giving yourself just one chance, like to be like, okay, we're just gonna take some time off. I take Sundays off usually. I don't get as rigorous with what I'm eating and counting and measuring and everything on Sundays. And I think that really like rejuvenates me because I can, and that's part of the reward system. I can look forward to Sundays because I'm like, okay, on Sundays, if I want to eat chips with Phoenix while we watch the game, I can. If I want to, I can and not have to think about it or whatever. So yeah, I think that was all of my things for motivation. Any thoughts,
I like
Kim?
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like discipline is something that it I always, for me, I think it's the issue with discipline is over the last few years, my life has just kind of been like not solid, and it's hard to stay disciplined when you feel like your feet aren't like grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is kind of what, that's one of the things that's hard for me, where they're like, people want to say it's an excuse or not, like, well, just get up in the morning and do it, or just go to and I'm like, you don't know my life. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I know the things that I need to like be successful and have it be something that's continuous in my life. And I don't want to start it, do it one day and then just like not be able to do it for 3 days, and then do it one day and not be able to do it for, a week. Or, you know what I mean? I want to set up a schedule. I want to know, like, cause that's what you started doing. Like, you literally just started like, you know what your schedule is. So I'm going to just go to the gym this time, pretty much the same time every single day. And that's just part of your daily, life and routine. And that's what I would like to do. Same with school. Like, I would love to be able to get up at 6 a.m., go to the gym, come home, and then get ready for class and go to class from 8 to 4 or 8 to 3 or whatever, and then go get Lena from school or go home and do some homework or whatever. And, just like go to school 3 days a week. Like, you know what I mean? I kind of have an idea of what I would love for my schedule to be. But again, it's just not something that's feasible right now, which I think is frustrating, especially for me, who's like, I've always kind of been, you wouldn't know it by seeing me now, but I've always been like, I was like the super like in the gym, like person before. That was like me. Like, I was in the gym 5 days a week, or I was either in the gym or I was at a class. And also something too that I feel like, this last thing I say, have an accountability partner. Because I feel like that's something that really helped me, was having somebody like, I had a friend that was like, she was in yoga training school, and she was really, really into fitness. So she would hit me up and be like, hey, you want to go to spin class with me? And I'd be like, I mean, sure. Like, I was like, I guess I want to. I don't really want to go to a spin class, but it was nice to have somebody and I went. But it's just nice to have somebody that you're like, okay, I'm going to go to a class with them, or I'm going to go do this. Like, so you don't feel like you're by yourself. And that's something that I feel like is good with F45, is that you kind of build this camaraderie and this friendship. So you look forward to going because you get to see people that you like and you like to be around.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. And that's a big thing. That was actually one of the things on here, and I like skipped it. I don't know how I skipped it, but that's like a big thing about, and Derek asked me, why can't you just work out at home? And it's like, it's just different. Like, there's something about being surrounded by people that are like-minded and have the same, like, maybe not the same goal, but similar goals. Just like the simple fact that they have family, they have kids, but fitness is a priority, such a priority to them, that they wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5:30 in the morning to come do a workout in the morning. It just shows that like your priorities are similar, and I think that that's just like really cool. It's a great thing about F45. That's why I love it. Any type of training like that, whether it's Orange Theory or it's I don't even know what other ones. Going to the YMCA.
Yeah, they had another one in Austin that I can't remember what it was called right now, but it was like they would do group workouts outside. I just cannot remember what it's called. But yeah, anything like that. Like, I mean, if you're going to like a yoga class or spin class, it doesn't really give you that camaraderie because you're not working together. You're not working out. You're not talking. But in F45, it's multiple people working on a station, or like it's two people working on a station or whatever, right? It's not just you by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get to like root each other on and cheer each other on, and you also, if you don't have somebody there that will notice, and this is a big thing for me. I don't really need a coach to like maybe tell me exactly what I need to do. I really more need them to make adjustments for me that I can't see. And I need them to know where I'm getting better, where I'm getting stronger, so they can make adjustments up. Like, you know what, you're getting stronger in this aspect, so let's lift the weight. Or so then you're like, oh, awesome. Like, I didn't even realize that, like, I was getting stronger or that I could do this, you know? So that's part of having the coach there. So even though it's not a personal trainer at F45, you still get like that one-on-one kind of experience, and you still get somebody, you know, there to notice where you're excelling and where you're growing. So
yeah, it's important. That's one of the things about them. It's important to them that they build their relationship with their clients and the coaches and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
All right. Well, let's do our go girl, no girl, and then we are done for this
wrap
podcast.
it up.
Yeah. So
you go ahead.
Do you want to go first? Okay. No, so my go girl this week is that I finally, guys, it is November 1st, 2020. I got my stimulus check this week.
Woohoo!
Finally, guys, it is almost 2021, and I just got my stimulus check like 4 days ago. So I bought new AirPods. So you can't see, but I have AirPods now. I was talking last week about how much life without AirPods is rough as a mom. So I would say anybody who like doesn't mind spending like $100+ on a mom that you know, if she does not own a pair of AirPods or wireless headphones of some kind, I would say AirPods because they're just super convenient and lightweight and like they're just awesome. They're the best ones. They need them in their life. So that's a fantastic gift. And I didn't realize how much I needed them until I did not have them for like 3-4 a month. And I was just like, it's brutal. So I was really excited about that. I don't know what my no girl is. It's probably the fact that my allergies are kicking my butt and I am having a struggle right now. But otherwise, the week, I mean, it's been good. So I'm really excited. I'm just really super excited about that. So the stimulus check this week. What about you?
My go girl is, I mean, I sort of mentioned it already in the earlier, but I did finish the first week of F45, my first challenge. So that was really nice. It's the only thing I would say is like a no girl about it is just like there's a lot of, since I feel like the mindset now that, because before I was doing it on my own terms, right? Like I was working out, I was eating the way I was eating. There was no competitiveness. Like I was really only competing with myself, right? And like when I was going to class, like, yeah, I would do an extra set or whatever, or an extra round or whatever to compete with the person that I was in the station next to. But when it came to like what I was eating and my own goals and everything, I wasn't competing with other people. So I think like the like watching what other people are doing, I have to make like make it a point to like root for them and be like, okay, that's your lane. I'm going to stay over here in my lane when it comes to like my workout. Like having people in the class that are doing like did 10 workouts last week, and I did 8 workouts. So that's not bad. I did 6 workouts and then I did 2 doubles. That's really good. There were other people who did 10, 11 workouts last week. And like I think it's just like, for me, finding the balance of like, okay, let me remind myself why I'm doing it, what my personal why is, what my goals are, and just do that and not get so caught up in like, oh, we're supposed to be doing this challenge. This is when we're supposed to be pushing hard. Like I've been doing this already for months.
Right.
So
exactly.
I think that it's just like, you know, just remembering to like, if I keep doing what I'm doing and maybe like raise the intensity just a little bit more, then I'm just going to see really good results regardless of whether, you know, I win or whatever it is. Like, it's just like remembering what my personal why is, I think is definitely been a struggle this week. But I think now that we're through week 1, I can keep my mind in the right place and just stay focused and remember that it's fun, because I actually do like working out. Like, it's really fun. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that said, I hope you guys are having a good week. You're going to be listening to us on Wednesday. And also hope your Halloween weekend went good. As we sit, the time has changed. So it's going to be
Yes, we
dark
fell back an hour.
really early. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be so weird. It's going to be dark.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be picking up Phoenix and it's going to be dark almost. That's so weird.
It's very strange. But I mean, here it's not the same. Like, the sunset's really early here. So, but
Yeah.
we did gain that extra hour of sleep today, so that was that was nice.
Yeah.
But if you haven't set your clock or you didn't notice, and it's Wednesday, probably should check. You missed
How are you functioning?
Yeah, how are you functioning if you
3 days with no time change?
If you didn't realize the time change.
If you have all electronic clocks in your house, it may have changed, and you didn't even know. That's a thing.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
What if you have?
That's
like
true.
If you have like all smart devices and fridges and microwaves and things in your house, it may have changed its own. So if you didn't know, the time changed. So, but yeah. So that said, thank you guys so much for listening. Like I said at the top of the show, there will not be a video version, but you will be able to still listen / view us on the YouTube platform. But you won't be seeing us this week. Other than that, we will be in the same other places you can listen to us: Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher, all of those places, and an Apple Podcast, the most important one, Apple Podcasts. And while you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review and let us know what you think, because we always love reviews. And rate us 5 stars. Yes, rate us 5 stars. And interact with us on our socials, which all that will be in the description box like normal. And yeah, I guess we will see you guys next week. And happy November.
Happy November. Happy almost Thanksgiving. Happy almost end of 2020.
Happy last two months of 2020.
Yes.
All right.
Talk to you later, Twin.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.